Hello, I got over 20 invites into different universities and I applied for three specialties: internal medicine, family medicine, and general surgery. And I got invited to these different specialties all across the country. And I ended up matching in my top program, which was internal medicine at the University of Calgary. In this video, I'm going to share with you the CV that I used, how I did tailor my CV, why it did stand out. And if you want to have your CV stand out as well, I have left a template, which is an amazing template that you just have to customize in the description box. Please check it out. Again, if you like what we do and you want to support our content, please hit like, subscribe, and share this content. Promise you we will do our best to bring you the latest and the most up-to-date information, and we will try to support you as much as possible. Okay, let's dive right in and let me tell you some of the things that I did on my CV which made it stand out. First of all, after I had matched, I was able to review a bunch of CVs, and prior to all of this, I used to work as an associate director at a university where I was able to hire and interview lots of candidates, and I did learn a lot during that time. And I did gain experience. I did see what Canadians on the board of directors or the managing directors, what they always look for in the CV. I did interview lots of candidates with my hierarchy, and I did see their criteria and what they are always looking for. So I did gain lots of experience prior. And so in this video, I'm going to be sharing with you all the strategies and everything that I learned at that time. And if you're interested again in our template, please check the description and get you this template and use it. I can guarantee you would be able to come here and give a testimony by yourself. All right, so the things that I see that many candidates actually put on their CV, which is surprising for me when I was reviewing for some of our peers, was that the inconsistency in the way the overall CV just looks. You know, when you get a piece of document and you just look at it from first sight and you're like, oh, this doesn't look good. That's exactly how the program reviewers would actually look at it if you don't do a good job. Minor things just as formatting, putting the dates in the correct order. These are really, really important things. I did do a webinar where I did show my CV templates and the things that I did, and I'm still going to share that with you right away, but you would have your template in the description. This is the first part of my resume. So just consider how I write it and just look at it. So again, my name will be up there. On the real original one, I didn't even put Calgary about it. I just put phone number and your email. But look at how I write this. And this is my highlight that I put here. These are my medical schools that I put here in the dates. And these are my electives that I did that I put here. I know people will be like, okay, we don't do electives in our countries, but you can change it. And that's what I tell a majority of the people, that, look, adjust this thing accordingly. In our countries, it might not be called electives, but it is akin to what they call electives here. This is my page for clinical experience. Just look at how short it is. So someone who is working as a clinical assistant or as an associate physician, I put 1, 2, 3, 4 lines. And I put this in a sense that I was still even going to start this position. This is me working as an independent physician back home. I put 1, 2, 3 lines. 3 lines only for about 3 years of clinical work. I just put only 3 lines. So lots of candidates just are not consistent. They will put a date and they will spell out April for some portions of the CV, and another portion of the CV they are going to do March in numerical. And then other portions, they will abbreviate December as DEC, and then they'll just put the years. In some areas, they'll put a complete year. It is not a line, it is all haphazard, zigzag. Like, all these things really matter. The way you present your stuff matters. This is all about marketing. Once you're at the level of submitting your applications for a CaRMS, you're trying to market or sell yourself. And if you don't do a good job in terms of marketing yourself, that will be horrible. I still do see people put in lots of detail, that pertains to them that you're not supposed to put on your introduction. On my CV, as you're going to see on your screen, I didn't include my complete address. I didn't even include my city. I just put my name, my cell phone, and my email. Simple as that. Just make it easy. No one is coming to your home. No one wants to really know where you are. You're still at the application phase. And you'll be able to share all this information during your interview. So why clutter? Why make your CV busy anyways? Another thing that I see people do is that they go online and then they use these CV makers, or they use the CV auto generators online. And it comes in specific formats that they can't modify, they can't change. These are things that you want to sit down, really take your time, because it has to be a well thought process. You really think about it and you sit down and you write it. You can easily edit it, easily convert it into PDF. You can easily give someone to add comments on it for you. Someone could easily do some quick fixes for you. So my strong advice would be, don't use the online tools. I see a lot of people using lots of online tools, and this has led to, unfortunately, about 80% of reject just during the filtration process of all these. Because again, sometimes some programs use like auto filters to pick out some of the information from the CVs. And if you've used like these tools that are online, then the machine might have an error in terms of trying to pull out this information from your CV, and there is thousands of applicants, so no one really has time to go sit and say, let's check what did this candidate actually have. And so that's how you find yourself being scrapped out from among those who should have been filtered to have a closer or a critical look at the application. So please don't use these tools. And a lot of tools are like ATS, where I see lots of people using. This is my advice, it's my personal take, but again, you can decide for really what you want to do. So the next thing is the anatomy, means the general structure, the general format, the way we place information, what should come before which one, hierarchy. It is a systematic way in which we structure our CV. This is quite important. A lot of people will be like, why are you talking about this? Does it really matter? Of course it matters. Your experience matters. Recency matters. And that's why there's always going to be a clause at the end when you're about to submit your CaRMS application. This has an asterisk, it's obligatory. They ask you for your last day of practice. So you have to coordinate the date. So I'm talking about anatomy in the sense that some people say, oh, we have to use reverse chronology. Others say, oh, we don't have to use reverse chronology. The general rule of thumb is that start with your most recent clinical experience. Let's say you're a clinical assistant or you're an associate physician currently working in BC. You have to say, under your clinical experience section, you would say associate physician, I don't know, St. Michael, Vancouver. You would say 2025 to present, and you would write the date. Ideally, I'd like to put month and year, so you put month and year, and then you would then start listing the things that you do there. Some people want to include the names of preceptors. I don't, because again, this could be good and it could be bad. So what if you put a preceptor who works in a specific department and the person reviewing your file is not just in good terms with that preceptor? So then there's some conflict of interest there, which I know they're supposed to sign the confidentiality clause saying that conflict of interest is not going to mingle with their judgment of the file, but we're all humans, you know, we get emotional from time to time, so you never know what will happen. Just be you and position your application to be your application. Of course, have people match with names of preceptors with your CV? Absolutely. Have they matched without? Absolutely. I match without names. And I still just feel sometimes if you put names, we want to show that we work with this person, consequently we're good because of this person. But no, let's be good because we are good and not because we're working with a particular preceptor. So again, that's just my gut feeling. That's just what I thought. And I am able to say this because I have received one of the largest amounts of interviews that IMGs have ever gotten. And so I can speak to it just saying that those things, I personally think they don't matter, but again, it's all left to you. Another thing is that most universities do have templates on their website. And so if you want to apply to UofC, you can look at what they actually want from you in terms of template for your resume. You're applying to UofC, you want to check on what they want at UofC. And essentially every university in Canada will have some form of CaRMS CV on their website. Please just take the time to look at this and tailor your CV in that format if you're particularly looking to apply in that province. It actually helps a lot. And again, if you're like someone like me who had zero Canadian clinical experience, had not had any near or close mentors in Canada who were able to recommend me or anything like that, the only part I did leverage was observerships. And if you're interested in that, please check on this our video where we talked about observerships in Canada. and how you can get them, where you can get them, the steps that you should take in order to get the observerships. These are really important. And then you can then include it in your CV, because on the real CaRMS application portal, there is no place for an observership because it's really low weighted as they compare it. But sometimes including your CV and for showing that you had that interest in going closer to the systems can give you an edge. And the other added advantage to that is that if you do it with a preceptor and the preceptor really likes you and they're happy to work with you, they can then issue you a letter of recommendation, which will go a long way, because for every program you apply to, you have to submit 3 reference letters from referees, and they do usually have their conditions, and conditions vary per program, per university. So you want to wait and check that out on the CaRMS website on the program description. Okay, so if you've liked this video and this has been interesting to you, please hit like and subscribe, share with your network, and please support us by liking, sharing, and again, go down to the description, check on our link to your free template and download it and just pre-populate it with your information, and I'll see you once you match. Peace.